You're welcome back, and if you've just joined us, you're watching Good Morning Nigeria. We're live on the NTA. The Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, founded in 1969, is an institute of professionals with skills in financial, contractual, and administrative management of construction projects in Nigeria. The skills and competencies the institute regulates is recognized by Decree 31 of the 1986. Introduction of guests. All right, let's see. All right, let's introduce our guest who will be joining us on this discussion. Of course, the Quantity Surveyors of Nigeria is 50. And we have a couple of guests in the studio here to talk to us on how far the journey has been. Of course, what to expect in the next 50 years.
All right. First, let's welcome Quantity Surveyor Obafemi Onoshile, who is president of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. QS Onoshile, pleasure to have you with us on the program this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right. Also here with us in the studios is Quantity Surveyor Murtala Aliyu. He is the president of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board. QS Murtala Aliyu, pleasure to have you with us on the program. We're Minister of State under Obasanjo sometime.
Yes, thank you very much.
To also be governor of your state. Remember that?
I tried.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, pleasure to have you with us in the studios one more time. Your Institute of Quantity Surveyors, you also have Institution of Surveyors. What is the difference or similarity between both, and therefore who is a QS?
Thank you very much. Surveyors generally, we are a family of experts in properties. Now we have many types of surveyors: estate surveyors, land surveyors, quantity surveyors. Now, quantity surveyors are more involved in construction. We are the financial, contractual, and administrative experts in construction, all forms of construction. Whereas the surveyors that, in quote that you said, are land surveyors who are involved in land matters, land mapping, land divisions, land delineation, and sales of lands, demarcating lands for sales. So those are land surveyors, and also for road construction and what have you. But they are more involved in land matters, whereas estate surveyors are involved more in built property matters. So that's the difference.
So 50 years on, what is the story of the Quantity Surveyors as an institute in Nigeria?
50 years on, now we have a species of experts in about up to about 10,000 managing construction costing, legality, and administration in Nigeria. We started in 1969 with less than 30 members that came from UK, trained in UK, and started the profession in Nigeria. In those days, training was done abroad. But now, in the last 50 years, we've been able to now undertake the training of quantity surveying in Nigeria. We have over 62 institutions teaching and training in quantity surveying. Also, when we started, professional qualification was done under the British organization RICS, but now the institute is able to also do its own professional examination and recognition and etc., which is one in Africa. We are the leading quantity surveyors in Africa, and also we are now at the front line of quantity surveying worldwide. The Institute is involved with many international organizations, and we are the leadership of those organizations.
All right, Murtala Nyako, let's get your thoughts on this.
Murtala
Aliyu, let's get your thoughts on this. There's been a lot of issues with building collapse in the country, not just lately, but we've been having it over time. It's just that there's just been an increase in it. How do you think, as quantity surveyors, you can help to stem this tide?
Well, the building collapse issue is actually an industry problem. It starts from the designs. We need to get the correct experts to design buildings. We are in a country where experts are not usually recognized. People just poach on designs and put them on site without really knowing the particular peculiarities of what informed that design. So it starts from the design part. The one other issue is the issue of compliance to regulations. We have development controls, like we have one neighboring you here. Sometimes when you pass buildings, you find them marking them stop. Now, before any building is put on the ground, it's supposed to have gone through these compliance issues to ensure that they've conformed to all the requirements of design. And then the construction, the use of the appropriate material, because after the designs, in our bill of quantities, the quantity surveyors will always now state the specific materials that should be used for particular locations and buildings. And these are sometimes circumvented by builders during the construction. So all this accumulates into a poor quality output at the end of the day. And then also the management of the construction, because there's supervision aspect. So these are things that we need to put, and especially the compliance issues, where the regulatory authorities now step down their function or compromise their functions. We'll continue to have that. There's another aspect also, the issue of urbanization. These clusters we have, suburban areas, where people construct disorderly, are sometimes also responsible for these things. So as quantity surveyors, we are not directly involved in the structural aspect, but we are a part of a team that will ensure that the correct things are done throughout the process from design through to delivery.
The current, if I may just add, the current construction laws regarding building collapse and building failure is very defective now. We're still using the Factories Act of 1974 to control construction sites. Now, NIQS has been championing the need to reform that law. We need to have more current laws that are enforceable, even the mode of enforcing it. With the Factories Act of 1974, they can only come to mark your building and give stop order, but they can't force you to stop. They have to still go to court with you. But whereas with this update of the law we're talking about, the reform of the law, they're all spelled out. You can't even start it. All those things are spelled out in the draft of the new law that we have said the Federal House of Assembly should pass. We've sent the bill in.
Okay, one aspect that is very critical for us, in looking at the Nigerian environment, considering your role in the financial, contractual, and administrative management of projects, BOQ. Everybody who's familiar with construction knows what BOQ is, which is to say bill of quantities. In the public sector, why is it that Nigerian projects are, as it were, one, if not the most expensive ever to undertake anywhere in the world? People will tell you, we have guests who come here, everybody decries it, that, road construction, most expensive, railway construction, most expensive, bridges and all kinds of things, public structures, local, federal, and state governments. What is the role of the QS in these figures that people always complain about?
Thank you very much, moderator. We are very concerned. We, as the body of quantity surveyors, we are very concerned when they talk about Nigerian construction costs being the highest. The fact that it is true. We went to the Villa, Aso Rock, to meet the president, to also say, yes, we are aware, and we provide solutions to this. First, we spoke about the non-delineation of professional functions in public sector. You have others wishing to do quantity surveying jobs. The bill of quantities you are talking about is recognized all over the world as a safest mode to coordinate construction. But in Nigeria, we have something called BEME. It's never heard of in any other country. So that's one of the problems.
What does that mean?
Because I don't even know. It's an aberration to be brought into our industry. I don't even want to say it. We know the truth. Bills of quantities should be used. Who does the bill of quantities? The quantity surveyor, but they're prevented from coming in to establish, to produce this bill of quantities. Now there must be a mandate to allow quantity surveyors to prepare this bill of quantities for public projects, especially the infrastructure. That's where we have major capital expenditure, roads and etc. Surveyors are not there yet. But we're asking that the government, the federal government, should look into this and ensure this delineation of roads and also surveyors taking charge of cost control. If surveyors are not being made to control costs, the control will be very faulty. Where we have designers also doing cost control, there's no separation of duties. And we all know about separation of roles and separation of duty, division of labor. That's where you can have the best management. Now, when same designers are also doing the costing, which is very rampant with our infrastructure projects, let's cop that. We'll have better development, more cost-effective development. In addition also, even the administration of projects in Nigeria, we're asking that we should now start putting in project managerial roles in it. These projects are becoming so complex. A designer, yes, while he's designing, should not be also charged to focus on managing a complex project. Let a management expert handle that. Surveyors are training members also in this field. In the private sector, financial sector, you have banks now seeking QSs as project managers to manage their funding because they now understand the importance of that cost control aspect. Let this be applied to public sector works. Let's have project managers on it of surveying background.
Motola Ali, what's your reaction to this aspect? Yes.
The truth is that this is the only country where expertise, in particular fields are not recognized. For as long as we are trained to also appreciate construction, we do designs, we do technology, we do all those things in our training. But our major specialty is the costing in that respect. And somebody who is also just watery on the costing is also trying to do the costing in these projects. So this is why, for as long as the doctor is trying to play the role of the nurse, or the nurse is trying to play the role of the doctor, then we have a problem. Everybody should play his own role. And I think for Nigeria, it's shameful to see sometimes the cost of projects. Look, the quantity surveyor is trained to cost projects to the detail. When you look at the buildings, to doorknobs, to the floor tiles, and so on. What's complex in infrastructure projects? What's complex in roads? What's complex in rail? So we are trained to do that. And I think when governments realizes this and begins to put square pegs in square holes, I think we'll be able to have a cut on this. But for as long as we just laze over it and think, no, it's okay for everybody to do anything, then we have a problem. Now, if another expert wants to measure roads or want to cost roads, let him come and train. There is no problem. But for as long as you don't train and you don't want to do that, then we're going to have this contraption.
All right, so I was going to ask you, what's the ratio of men to women in terms of being quantity surveyors? And I know you're going to tell me you have more men. And if you have more men, what are you doing to see that more women come into quantity surveying?
Quant surveying actually provides the best platform for females in construction because most of our jobs are done also in the offices. So in our profession, we have a number of, quite a large chunk of female in our membership. We have a dedicated subsidiary of our institute. We call it Women Association of Quant Surveyors in Nigeria, WACSIN. And they're formidable, and they're also at the leadership position of our profession. We've had a female, in fact, I took over from the first female president.
Who took over from me?
Exactly. So we have female also playing leadership roles in our institute. We have female chairmen of state chapters. At least about 5 or 6 chapters are being led by females. So we are encouraging females in our profession. We have the Young Quant Surveyors Forum. That's a galvanizing body to help younger ones come into our profession and also even nurture them well in the profession. We are very gender sensitive in that. And so even right from school, we're encouraging females, ladies, to come into the profession.
Okay, I was just wondering, still on the costs of projects in Nigeria, particularly infrastructure projects, and dealing now with the neglected role of the QS. Isn't it surprising, for instance, that we've had a number of these projects being passed by the BPP, which is the Bureau of Public Procurement? What is it that they were looking at if there seemed to have been no expert input from the QS? You've been in the public sector.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, our discussion with the Minister of Works and Housing now is to develop a dedicated database, cost database. Of course, individually, we all have, I mean, his own firm had been reeling out cost price book. But we want to have an institutional one, and the board, the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, which I preside, is now putting a body together in collaboration with the NIQS to ensure that we have a national benchmark. Ordinarily, the BPP is supposed to collaborate with both the institute and the board to ensure that we have these benchmarks applied. So there's an effort going on to ensure that we address those issues.
All right,
as of now, we have a QS even leading the BPP in Nigeria. The current head is a QS, and recently, a month ago, it was in the papers that he's been able to save Nigeria tens of billions of dollars in reviewing contracts that were about being started on site. So we are still there trying to curb this cost. The man is doing a good job.
Well, what should we expect to see in the next 50 years?
The next 50 years, we should, if Nigeria is very serious about prosperity, we should be seeing lots of construction in Nigeria, property investment, and our members should increase in more number to provide this for the nation. We hope that's part of our transformation plan, and having more membership in our institute, and right now also we're talking about international benchmarking of our skills. Recently, we just signed a reciprocal agreement with Canada Institute of Quantity Surveyors. Nigerian quantity surveyors are now at par with any QS from anywhere. So in terms of local content, we have it. So in the next 50 years, we hope to build up on this and even take charge of promoting cost control in African construction. Africa is the future. And so that's our part.
All right, Obafemi Onashile is the president of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure.
And also a very big thank you to Murtala Aliyu, the president of the Quantity Surveyors Registration Board. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We wish you a wonderful celebration and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break now. When we come back, of course, we'll be discussing the National Health Insurance Scheme.